tuning in and following along with all the latest and greatest sports stories and events going on around the region. And this is the first time I've been in here in the studio in a while. Supposedly, and it's merely a rumor, I'm on vacation. The person that was supposed to fill in for me on vacation needed to be filled in as well. So we are back here in the studio at Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. A lot of high school sports that went on over the weekend, especially Friday night. I'm wanting to sneeze, and it just, when it's about ready to, it's like, all right, then I pause, and then it doesn't happen. So high school football had some good games. I mean, the game that we had, Chattanooga Central and Red Bank, was really awesome, even though it went into overtime. But, it's great to be able to pick some good games on the schedule. And Chat Central, nothing to hang their hats on. They played an awesome game. And, of course, Red Bank did, too. And hopefully
92.7 Nooga Radio.
Don't know what happened there, but let's go back to where we're supposed to be at here. And, let you know that coming up, that this week, and I'm trying to make get back into where we need to be at. Let me just go ahead and do that. And so this Friday night, we've got Red Bank visiting Signal Mountain. In fact, get your high school football spirits in high gear beginning on Thursday night with Nooga Radio's Gridiron Gang Show, live from 7 to 9 p.m. at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. Then join me on Friday nights with the Countdown to Kickoff presented by One-on-One Personal Training beginning at 7 p.m. Later on, Keon Rose, Nick LaFew will be bringing you all the excitement of high school football's game of the week at 7:30 p.m. This Friday night, Red Bank visiting Signal Mountain. After the game, join me to get all the up-to-date scores and highlights from all across the region with the fifth quarter show. Sports is always super right here on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. All right. Thank you, Mike. I see that you're in there taking care of things. Thank you very much. But I think I accidentally hit the space bar and it made it go off. So sometimes our gut hangs over a little bit too far. How was your weekend? Hopefully you had a great weekend. It was very nice weather-wise. Got to go up to Nashville. My third son, the first one after the twins, came down. Him and his wife and my oldest grandson, they're down here visiting. That's why I'm on vacation, because of Turkey, Herman, and Blakester all being down here. Turkey is the nickname that I gave my son, Richard. And I gave all my boys nicknames. There's Red and Goofy. Those are the twins, James and Samuel. Then Richard is Turkey. Josh is Monkey. Matthew is Peanut. And then my sixth son, Timothy, who was supposed to have been a Rachel May, but when I delivered him, he came out as a boy, and the only thing we could call him initially was Rocky because he would quiet down when we would rock him in the chair at the hospital and then eventually at home until we came up 3 days later with his name, Timothy Aaron. So, all my boys have got nicknames. And Richard's wonderful wife, Jess, she's always been called Herman. Don't know the whole story about why she was named Herman, but Herman and the Hermits, maybe. I don't know. But Blakester is just my name that I've given my oldest grandson, Blake, the name. And he responds to it. He knows when Pappy Jordan is nearby and he hears Blakester, he knows that I'm in the room. But we got to go up to Nashville, and I'm telling you what, Saturday was not the day to go to Nashville. We found that out the hard way. because they rerouted traffic everywhere. Bridgestone Arena was having Def Leppard and Journey. That would have been a great concert to see Journey. I'm not into Def Leppard. Never have been, never will be. Journey, I could hear them forever. Have not seen them perform in person, even with Steve Perry, and definitely not with Arnel Pineda. But also going on over at Nissan Stadium, even though the Titans played the Steelers earlier in the day and lost, ironically, there was another event going on at Nissan Stadium. So it was like everywhere. We were trying to get out of downtown. We wanted to go see the Ryman, and we wanted to see some of the other great places that Nashville has, showing them around and stuff. And it was like everywhere you tried to go, it was like traffic was all the, streets pretty much in downtown were all one way, literally all one way. But we eventually got out of downtown Chattanooga. It took us about an hour to get out of downtown. We did. And then we went and checked out other things and had a good time. And they'll be down here through the week. And so tonight is an exception to the rule that, I wasn't supposed to be on the air this week, except for Thursday and Friday night because of football. But other than that, Keon was supposed to be here, and he's in the midst of helping his lady friend with moving. So he's kind of busy on that. And with that, we'll be filling in here tonight for the person that was filling in for me. So it is kind of revolves back around. NASCAR was off this past week. They will be back in action this coming Sunday night because Labor Day is on Monday. So they're having the race on Sunday night with the Bojangles Southern 500 over at Darlington. Airtime is 5 o'clock here on Nuga Radio Sunday night. So make sure that you, check that out. And, tune in. You can't watch it on TV or whatever. And even if you can, turn the volume down on the TV and turn up the race right here on Nuga Radio and enjoy the great festivities going on there. While we're talking NASCAR, let's check in with Susie Armstrong, get you updated with the latest in the NASCAR racing world with Ned Jarrett's World of Racing right here on Nuga Radio.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has famously nicknamed Chase Elliott Young Elvis. But how does Chase feel about that?
I think he needs to retire from giving nicknames.
I'm Susie Armstrong, and this is the World of Racing.
I'm former crew chief and STP auto expert Steve Letarte. Does your engine feel like it's down on power? It could be caused by deposits on fuel injectors, engine valves, and combustion chambers. An easy way to help clean up your fuel system and restore lost power is through the gas tank with STP Ultra 5-in-1 Fuel System Cleaner. One bottle contains 3 times the amount of cleaning agents versus the leading premium gasoline to help keep your engine running strong. STP, inside every great machine.
One bottle contains 3 times by weight the amount of cleaning agents and 35 gallons of the leading premium gasoline.
Things happen fast in racing, and if you don't know where to look, you can miss it all. With Legend from Racing Electronics, you'll never miss another moment. Legend gives you live fan vision video, in-car cameras, and stats at NASCAR and other Premier Series events. And the next generation race scanner for unfiltered driver and crew audio at any motorsports event nationwide. NASCAR fans have never been closer to the action. Welcome to the future of the fan experience. Learn more by visiting racingelectronics.com.
Chase Elliott's former car owner and teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. recently nicknamed the NASCAR phenom Young Elvis while commenting on NBC. Elliott hopes the moniker will fade from the forefront and that NASCAR Nation focuses more on his first career Cup win at Watkins Glen just a few weeks ago.
For some reason, he's always thought I look like Elvis, and I really don't know why. I know he has a little bit of an obsession for Elvis. He's got an Elvis room in his house, which is kind of weird. So I don't know if he just has a thing for Elvis or what. But yeah, whatever. But I don't think he's qualified.
I'm Susie Armstrong, and this is the World of Racing on the Motor Racing Network.
Thank you very much, Susie. And don't forget, all your NASCAR racing action can be found right here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. While we're talking racing, 7th different UCRA winner Jensen Ford rocks the Hall of Fame race that took place Saturday in the United Championship Racing Alliance Rockin' with the Stars Hall of Fame race at Smoky Mountain Speedway up in Maryville, Tennessee. At least that's how Nick LaFew has conveyed Maryville as Marville. Pole Center Ford rocked into the lead, topping all 40 laps for a $2,000 round number 7 victory for the $16,000 championship season. Ford outran Jake Teague and Ross White for his first career UCRA victory for the number 83 McCoy Land Surveying, Whitehead Construction, Green Tree Motors, River Gardens, Trueform, Race Products, and WPR Suspension sponsored East Tennessee 604 GM Motor Team. Ford won by 2.233 seconds and lapped all but 11 competitors. So it sounds like he had a good night. Greg Martin of Knoxville started 19th, finished 8th overall. Third finishing was Ross White of Karns, Tennessee, setting a fast time of 16.663, earning the Performance Racing Engine's $100 award. Fourth finishing was Michael Courtney, who gained 3 valuable points on the current UCRA points leader Jimmy Elliott of Cleveland. Ford marks the 7th different winner out of 7 rounds of the 2018 UCRA season. Ray Cook's Tri-County Racetrack in Brasstown, North Carolina, is scheduled to host round number 8 on Labor Day, September 3rd. If you'd like to find out more, go to UCRARacing.com for more details. So congratulations to Jensen Ford in getting that victory. All right, if you'd like to call in and participate, you can do so by doing the little fingers walking on the keyboard of your telephone at 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949. You can also participate by going to our Facebook page, Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, and you can ask your questions there as well. We're also broadcasting on Facebook Live and YouTube, so if you'd like to be a part of tonight's show, you are more than welcome to join in and participate. We're going to be talking a lot of sports here, and as I said, filling in for Keon, who was filling in for me originally with tonight's show, but we're also going to be filling in for Keon on his show tonight at 8 o'clock. So we've got a lot of time to talk. If you want to participate, do so. Give us a call. Currently 89 degrees here, still with some sunshine out to the west. We'll check in with Patrick Core, get you updated with that latest forecast coming your way here in a little bit at the break. GPS Bruiser volleyball team improved to 8-1 overall, 3-0 in region play with a 3-1 victory at Ensworth on Saturday. Baylor won a pair of matches in Nashville on Saturday as well, beating Ensworth 3-0 at Harpeth Hall 3-2. Lady Red Raiders beat Ensworth by scores of 25-16, 25-16, and 25-10 after coming from behind to beat the Honey Bears. Harpeth Hall won the first set by a 25-23 advantage before Baylor won the second 25-17. Honey Bears then went up 2-1 with a 25-20 win in set 3 before Baylor pulled out of the match with a 25-13 win in the 4th set and a 15-11 decision in the 5th. Rosalie Brooksbank had 18 kills, 17 digs. Pretty awesome job there. Faith Copeland added 34 assists as the Bruisers prevailed by scores of 25-27, 25-19, 27-25, and 25-9. Allie Craig had 28 kills, while Sarah Barker had 21 to lead the Baylor attack. Elizabeth Case finished the day with 18 kills and 20 digs, while Lane Redmond had 105 assists and 33 digs. GPS and Baylor return action as they face each other coming up on Wednesday at GPS. Baylor's now 8-3 overall, 4-0 in region play. So looks like they had a pretty good time at it on Saturday up in Nashville. Both teams from Chattanooga area doing very, very well. Once again, 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949, or you can text your questions or comments to Nooga Radio 927 FM on Facebook, and we'll be more than glad to answer those for you. Don't forget to join David Tulis each and every weekday afternoon from 1 to 3 for the David Tulis Show. He's the smartest guy with a bow tie in Chattanooga, and he tries to be the investigative reporter and digging and getting those questions asked of the politicians that love to avoid any controversy. You can find it on the David Tulis Show, weekday afternoons from 1 to 3. But before that, Remod, weekdays from 11 to noon here on Nooga Radio. And then we get you into the Power Hour newscast each and every day at noon. And then from 3 to 6, America's #1 talk show host, Sean Hannity. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. Well, we mentioned a little bit about high school volleyball. Let's get in a little bit of college volleyball if we can. We still got a little bit of time left on that. Cleveland State defeated Johnson University out of Florida Saturday night in Knoxville by a score of 3-0. First set started off with Johnson University taking a 6-5 lead. Lady Cougars charged back, led by a Kirsty Williams kill, giving Cleveland State an 8-6 lead. Later on in the set, Johnson University managed to tie it back up at 11 apiece. Cleveland State grabbed a 13-12 lead with a kill by Allie Lemons and ran off, leading by as much as 8 points. Cleveland State closed out the first set with a 25-20 victory. In that, Cleveland State kept the momentum rolling in the second set, snagging an early 10-7 lead over the Suns after a pair of kills by Kate Essenberg and Kirsty Williams. Cleveland State had pushed their lead to 15-10, proceeded to run off with the lead. Lady Cougars took set 2 against the Suns by a score of 25-15. 2 sets over Johnson University, and Lady Cougars found themselves in a 5-5 tie with the opposing team. Set 3 continued with Reagan Morrison blocking the opposing libero, retaining a Cleveland State 11-9 lead. Not long after, Cleveland State found themselves down 13-16 to Johnson University. Haley Galvan followed this with 8 serves to rally the Lady Cougars back to a 21-16 lead. That's pretty awesome there in itself. Cleveland State ran away with set 3 with a 25-20 victory. Lady Cougars won the match 3-0 over Johnson University. Cleveland State will hold their home opener against Gadsden State Community College already underway at the Al Quentin Lane Gymnasium on the Cleveland State campus. So good job there by Cleveland State, and they're having their home opener going on right now. So if you're heading toward Cleveland looking for something to do, Cleveland State would be the place to go. Lee's volleyball team fell to number 20 Colorado School of Mines and Davenport on Saturday afternoon to wrap up the Ore Digger Classic. Lady Flames return to action next Friday in the Holiday Inn Express Classic from Walker Arena on the campus of Lee University. Lee will take on number 14 Arkansas Tech at 2:30 p.m. before testing Arkansas Monticello. Both those schools that I'm very familiar with because being from Conway, Arkansas, where the University of Central Arkansas and Hendrix College and Central Baptist College are located at, and been to Russellville to Arkansas Tech and Monticello for UAM. But they're getting those 2 Arkansas schools on the same day, Friday. Arkansas Tech at 2:30 and UA Monticello at 7 p.m. The 2-day event wraps up on Saturday with another day with number 12 Palm Beach Atlantic at 1:30 p.m. Each team that they played ran a different style of play, and we wanted to see that early in the year. Record doesn't show how hard the girls played and made strides over those few days, according to Coach Andrea Hudson, now in her 28th year on the sidelines. for the Lady Flames, and they're anxious to get back home and play for the home crowd, which they should always. Lee fell to Davenport 3-1 in Saturday's nightcap. The loss dropped the Lady Flames to 0-4 in the young season, while the Panthers improved to 1-3. So it was kind of a winner take all, getting that first victory of the season. But Lee Volleyball dropping those two, but they will be back in action, as we said, next Friday in the Holiday Inn Express Classic from Walker Arena. So we wish them the best of luck in their season. Now, UTC Volleyball fell to Michigan State and Tennessee in the Tennessee Classic. The Mocs volleyball team allowed a weekend high 44 kills and a .386 attacking percentage during Saturday night's 3-0 loss to SEC member Tennessee on the final day of the Tennessee Classic inside Thompson Bowling Arena. Following the loss, UTC drops to 1-2 on the season. The Vols improved to 3-0 and captured the 2018 Tennessee Classic tournament crown. Chattanooga was outnumbered in multiple statistical categories, including kills, 44-25, hitting percentage, 386 to .090, digs, 43-27, and blocks, 8.0 to a 2.0. All those were weekend lows for the team from the Scenic City. UTC will be hosting their annual Chattanooga Classic tournament this coming weekend, August 31st through September 1st, inside McClellan Gym. Kick off the home portion of their 2018 schedule. The Mocs open tournament play against UNC Asheville on Friday at 6:00 p.m. Tennessee winning 3-0 over Chattanooga. And then, let's see, number 22, Michigan State winning 3-1 over the Mocs. So, it will be a little bit before we hear more coming out of Chattanooga and how they do with that upcoming tournament. We got more coming your way. You're listening to the Locker Room Show on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Call us up, 423-800-8949, or text us at Nuga Radio 92.7 FM's Facebook page. Back with more in a moment.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A Cleveland native who was on a skydiving expedition is one of 4 people who died in a fiery plane crash over the weekend in Swainsboro, Georgia. Crash occurred at East Georgia Regional Airport in Statesboro. According to the Cleveland Daily Banner, 42-year-old Justin Duff was killed when the 1988 single-engine Cessna crashed around 2 p.m. Duff was a 1997 graduate of Bradley Central High School. The Trenton City Police Department warning residents of a potential scam. The department posted about the scam on Facebook, saying, if you receive a text message showing a link to pay your property tax, we did not send it out. Tax bills are sent out in the mail. If you have questions, contact the Trenton Police Department. And a car and a Whitfield County school bus collided head-on Monday afternoon. According to school officials, all of the kids on the bus are okay. The driver of the other vehicle was injured in the crash. The Georgia State Patrol is investigating. Val St. John for Nuga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News Now.
David Toulis. I made the move 1 o'clock every weekday afternoon, 1 till 3, Nuga Radio.
92.7 Chattanooga weather.
Expect fair skies to continue through your nighttime. Muggy overnight. Could see a little late fog return. Lows of around 70. For Tuesday, not much change. Partly cloudy, mainly dry and hot. Highs of around 90 with scattered afternoon showers and storms returning for the midweek. Tired of the pressures and hassles of car shopping? Come see what more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette or online at jacksongm.com. That's Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm Sworn 12 Chief Meteorologist Azure 4.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
I got my business up and running and it's already expanding. I got lucky. Lucky because I found Signal Voice and Data. Signal Voice and Data can incorporate all of my business information sharing and communications seamlessly, keep my costs down, and let me work more productively with endless connectivity no matter where I might be. That's called working smart, not hard. Go to signalvoicetn.com and bring the future of communication to your business today. signalvoicetn.com.
Let's face it, Old Faithful isn't as faithful as it used to be. Constant repairs are a hassle and can rack up quick in money and time. Landers McClarty Ford can fix that. Right now, you can get a 2016 Ford Focus, 34,000 miles, only $11,491. A 2017 Chevy Spark with only 17,000 miles for less than $12,000. A 2015 Volkswagen Jetta with less than 21,000 miles for $11,991. Yeah, browse their entire inventory of new and new to you cars, trucks, and SUVs online at Landers McCarty Ford at FortPayne.com. Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. If you can't find your next perfect ride, they'll go find it for you. Big city selection, small town prices, friendly service, and top dollar for your trade. The savings are waiting and only a short drive away, so what are you waiting for? Get started with your personalized shopping today at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello? Who am I speaking with? Eric, you're our winner. Really?
You'll receive tickets for all 3 races between the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup races.
Holy cow.
In addition, you'll receive a 2-night stay at the Microtel Hotel and restaurant accommodations at 2 area restaurants.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Nuga Radio.
92.7.
Your NASCAR racing station. Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Join Nuga Radio and the Gridiron Gang live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. We're talking all things high school football. There's a specialty brew or refresher weekly inspired by the game of the week. Sweet treats, extended hours all season long, and we're pet friendly. Portions of all proceeds support local schools and educational scholarships as well as after-school programs. It's football time in Tennessee. Join us every Thursday live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks, 10 North, your North Shore neighborhood living room.
Call 423-875-3600 if you're looking to expand your professional look of your business. Then consider the vast opportunities that are available when you locate your office with the Rains Group family. Remember, it's location, location, location. And the Rains Group has the location for your professional office. Check out the spaces for lease at Executive Business Park on the Lee Highway. Small or large, we will build to suit your needs with the Rains Group. Call 423-875-3600 for the business professionals with the Rains Group.
The kids are back in school, routine is returned, and we've shifted our thoughts to the fast approaching holiday season. Are you hosting? Want to spruce up before your guests arrive? Whether you want new color and exciting wallpaper or elegant window treatments, the designers at Chattanooga Paint and Decorating can help. With brands like York, Tebow, Graber, and Carroll, we know you'll find something you love. Stop by Chattanooga Paint and Decorating today. It's really more than just a paint store. On Hicks and Pike, across from Valvoline, or online at ChattanoogaPaint.com.
Nuga Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nuga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7.
Nuga Radio. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Sam Jordan's Nuga Radio 92.7 Sports now.
The show continues on this Monday night. Glad to have you on wherever you may be. And if you're here, that's great. College football teams are really jockeying right now to try to keep the other opponent off guard as far as who they're going to start at certain key positions, like quarterback, running back, wide receiver, the so forth. Running backs, if I didn't mention that. But Tennessee happens to be one of those teams. They've got Keller Chris. They've got Jared Garantano. They're just being listed as co-starters for the depth chart for this coming weekend because college football gets underway this weekend. Tennessee's going to be on the road over in Charlotte for their opponent in West Virginia. I guess it's halfway for both teams, I guess. Probably for the most part. And then you've got West Virginia, they're ranked number 20th in the country, according to the preseason polls, which may or may not be a little bit overrated. I think Tennessee's underrated. Nick and I, we've went back and forth on our comparisons about, the various teams, and especially with Tennessee, being the team of his favorite choosing. Mine's Arkansas, of course, being from Arkansas. Once you've been born and bred a Razorback, it's hard to look back the other way. Now, I've inherited Penn State because I lived up there for 30-something years out of my 52. By the way, all the people out there that wished me happy birthday, thank you. Here in the Chattanooga area, would be remiss in not mentioning that. But Tennessee, I think, is going to be at least an 8-4 team, if not a 9-3 team. If they can beat West Virginia this Saturday, they will be a big surprise. They probably won't make the top 25 with this victory if they get it. I think the real place that they will be considered is if they can get into the fourth game when they take on Florida and can actually beat Florida. And then they get into the Auburns and Alabamas and the Georgias. I think Georgia's first, then Alabama. And then another big test that they're going to get, they could go 0-3 in that stretch, but the big test, I think, is going to be with South Carolina, and that's going to be in South Carolina. Pardon me. Finally got it out. But anyway, if they can get through West Virginia, Florida, and South Carolina with victories, Tennessee's going to be a force to be reckoned with. If they can beat Auburn, Alabama, or Georgia, one of those three, or two of those three, I'll be happy. I'll be ecstatic if they can win that. I think Nick would be too, but he's not looking for that to happen. Now, Alabama, on the other hand, Coach Nick Saban released his team's first official depth chart earlier today. We're neglecting to say whether or not Jalen Hurts or Tua Tagovailoa will be a starting quarterback when the Crimson Tide kick off their season on Saturday against the Louisville Cardinals in Orlando, Florida. Saban even got so far in his comments that he was a little bit miffed when he told reporters he wouldn't even commit to both quarterbacks playing in the game against Louisville. I say, where's Pucky? I don't believe that one bit. Bobby Petrino will bring all of his guns to this shooting match, taking on Alabama, based purely on pride. And, of course, talent helps. But knowing Bobby Petrino and the years that he spent over in Fayetteville, his pride is more than anything. And that is why I'm saying he's going to be bringing everything he's got, and Jalen and or Tua will be playing. One of them or both of them will be playing. Now, Hurts and Tagovailoa were listed as co-starters on the depth chart. Both have been competing for the job ever since the College Football Playoff National Championship game in January, when Saban benched Hurts at halftime in favor of Tagovailoa, who threw 3 touchdowns in the come-from-behind win over Georgia. Now, Tagovailoa is coming into this season as a sophomore. Hurts is coming in as a junior. Speculation was going rampant that he was actually thinking about leaving Alabama and transferring to another SEC school, most notably Tennessee. We've had this discussion before, about fifth-year seniors, being able to transfer wherever they want, not being affected, by the transfer rules and everything. Like Keller Christ, who transferred from Stanford after graduating and he finished his commitment at Stanford. This is where the gray part of things goes as far as with transfers, in my opinion. I think that if you made the commitment to play at that school, they're giving you a scholarship ride to get the education that you're looking for, but also having the opportunity of playing college football at any NCAA or NAIA institution. You need to fulfill that commitment. Instead of boo-hooing that you're not going to get the starts, you're not going to get the playing time that you feel that you deserve, well, then work harder and earn it. You know, if you get hurt or your grades suffer, then, okay, you could transfer and go to a Division II, Division III school, or sit out the full year. Other than that, well, hey, you signed that contract with that school to represent them. Play it out to its fullest. But a lot of players, they feel that I can come and go as I please, pretty much. And I think the NCAA needs to crack down on that a little bit more than what they are. Now, if student athletes decide that they want to leave for greener pastures, as far as with pro football, whether it be the CFL, the Canadian Football League, or the NFL, all right, that's a little bit different. But once they go pro, they can't go back and play in college ball because of the professional status, leaving the amateur status. So, you know, you really need to weigh the circumstances as much as possible before making that decision. Interesting news that came out of Chattanooga here over the weekend. 2 freshman players, one from, I believe, Cartersville, Georgia, and the other one from upper part of Tennessee, got into a little bit of a high-speed chase on Saturday night on the thoroughfares of Chattanooga and thus got arrested. Be interesting to hear what happens with that from Coach Tom Arth. And Coach Arth is a very fair coach, but he's also a very disciplined coach. And the athletic staff, they'll make a well-informed decision on whether or not they're suspended for a game or two or the season or whatever, or just kicked off the team altogether. You know, it's just, this was one of the things that I was telling my fifth son, Matt, or Peanut, as I like to call him. You know, he just got into the dorms up in New York State here on Friday. And I had told him, I said, Peanut, I said, even though you're in college, you're an adult, you got to remember one thing in particular. You're not just representing yourself, you're also representing the school. And when you're out there, you need to be living at your best abilities possible and making the right decisions whenever possible because of representing yourself and also for that school that's giving you this opportunity of, in his case, wrestling for the school. And I said, you know, every choice that you make from this point on is being a college student athlete. And I emphasize student first. You've got to, you know, adhere to those high standards. Yeah, you're going to want to have some fun. I know I did when I went to college in Illinois back in the 80s. And it's like, from this point on, I mean, even when you're in high school, you still have to make good choices because even when you get to 9th grade, schools, and I mean, when I say schools, colleges and universities are looking at every aspect of what you do academically, athletically, and what you did on and off the field or on and off the court, and making a decision on whether or not they want you to be a part of their community and their atmosphere that they have, because if you're going to be playing sports for that particular college or university, you're representing them. It's just like if you went and signed up to join the Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, whatever, Coast Guard, or the Space Force that they're talking about creating. When you sign that agreement or contract, you're theirs. I know my oldest twin son, James, when he signed up at 17, he was still in high school yet when he signed, and he wanted to go the Army way. And it's like, all right, if that is what you really want to do. His mother and I, we both signed off because of him being under 18. But when you become a part of the United States military, you don't have the same choices as what you do as if you were on your own. I know James found that out the hard way because he was into riding four-wheelers and dirt bikes and stuff, and he actually raced competitively in dirt bike circuit up in the Northeast. And he went up on a jump, came down, the bike went out from underneath him, and he landed on his tailbone, messed it up. And the Army was about ready to say, all right, you can fix that on your own. We'll give you a medical discharge. And, I don't know how he was able to overcome that, but he was able to stay in. But they were actually talking about tossing him, because when you sign that contract, you have to get their approval in order to do things. So choices that we make in life actually go a long ways in life, whether we're in college, whether we're in the military, and especially when you're out there trying to make a living for your family, whether you're a single parent or you've got a husband or wife and children. I mean, I started off with having 2 kids right off the bat, and it was like, man, that hit me smack in the face. It was like, 1 kid, all right. But 2 right off the bat, it's not easy out there when you're a 20-year-old parent, and even with the mother being married to her. But it's like having twins, you may save when you're having the delivery of the 2 kids, but it's the cost after that you have to really be concerned about and worry about how you're going to make ends meet. So choices is a huge thing. I mean, for athletes out there, you really need to think long and hard before you make that choice that's going to be monumental. It's going to be a huge decision. That's why, we have our national signing days. Now, even though kids or student athletes commit to certain programs, until they sign that dotted line and everything, they still can pull out. Or if you've made it to the college scene, you went your 4 years or sometimes 5 years, and you decide you want to go pro, until you hire that professional agent to look out for you. Admiral Schofield, good example here. University of Tennessee basketball player. He thought he was going to go and put his name into the draft for the NBA. And just before the draft, he pulled back from it. He did not hire an agent, which, usually is the next step. He was just trying to weigh his options to see whether or not it was more lucrative for him to go the draft of the NBA or stay back in Knoxville and play basketball for another season before graduating. So, the key word here in this diatribe is choices. The choices that we make in life, and this is not just a sports thing. It's an overall life thing that, we really need to be careful and choose wisely. So, that's why I'm saying with teams that have players that just feel like they can come and go as they please. You know, we really need to have a little bit more stricter ties. And the NCAA really needs to be at the forefront of this and make a firm decision on this. I know years ago, if you were in the SEC, well, let me just say that Arkansas, when they were in the Southwest Conference, because I never really followed the SEC until Arkansas went over to the SEC after the Southwest Conference disbanded, and teams were just scattered everywhere and trying to find a home. And Arkansas made the jump over to the SEC, and most of the other schools went into the Big 12, or they went into Conference USA for the most part. But it's like, I mean, those are sometimes could be exceptions, because if schools go into another league or conference and that athlete doesn't feel that they've got a chance, plays a lot into it. Want to remind you, you can also pose your questions or comments if they're relevant to sports at Facebook.com/Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Also, you can call us at 423-800-8949. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in, watching on Facebook or YouTube. But we've been talking about choices here, and a lot of college coaches are going to be making choices here within the next several days as they get ready for their season opener. Tennessee against West Virginia on Saturday afternoon. I believe that's a 3 or 3:30 start. And then Alabama is taking on Louisville, if I'm not mistaken, on Saturday. I'm assuming Saturday night, but I could be mistaken. But I know they're taking on the Louisville Cardinals down in Orlando, Florida. Also, NASCAR this Sunday night, 5 o'clock airtime here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. But before we get into the weekend, don't forget to start your football weekend right with the Gridiron Gang Show. We want to invite you to come down to Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. Join myself, Keon Rose, Nick LaFew, and others. We'll have coaches and other people that will be on scene talking high school football. Some of the games that are big going on this weekend, Baylor, they ran into a buzzsaw with Knoxville Catholic this past week, but this week they're at home. We're a true home opener taking on Marist, Georgia. That'll be at Baylor. Montgomery Bell Academy, or more affectionately known as MBA, will be at McCallie. McCallie's having a whale of a season so far. East Hamilton at East Ridge. That'll be an interesting game. Lenore City will be at Soddy Daisy. Soddy Daisy's been doing good. They got their first victory of the year this past Friday night. Loudon will be at Brainerd. Ottawa at Bradley Central. Red Bank at Signal Mountain. That's our high school football game of the week. Broadcast at Signal Mountain. Sequoia will be at Chattanooga Central, out off of Route 58. Sequoia, I'm not for sure on their record offhand. Chattanooga Central, I'm telling you what, very good team and a team to be reckoned with. So don't be surprised of a dandy of a game there. Silverdale Baptist, they're on fire. They're 2-0. They're going to be at Chattanooga Christian this Friday night. Tyner Academy is taking on Polk County, Walker Valley at Ray County, Bledsoe County at Marion County, Dane County at Tryon, Dalton at Northwest Whitfield, and Lafayette at Gordon Lee. Those are some of the games going on this week. That's going to do it for me. I'll be back after the top of the hour, filling in for Keon on the clutch here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Back for more in a moment.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. now.
The first U.S. Senate debate between Democratic former Governor Phil Bredesen and Republican U.S. Representative Marsha Blackburn set for September 25th. The debate will be at Cumberland University in Lebanon. Bredesen and Blackburn are seeking to succeed Republican Senator Bob Corker, who is retiring. The TVA has announced a new study to help it decide the future of coal-fired plants in Tennessee and Kentucky. Chattanooga Times Free Press reports TVA President Bill Johnson announced the utility is projecting a decline in demand for electricity and is beginning a 6-month study to assess its entire generating fleet, including Paradise Unit 3 in western Kentucky and the Bull Run steam plant in East Tennessee. And an arrest after 150 grams of heroin seized at a Cleveland home August 14th has been made. 37-year-old Calvin Evans of Detroit, Michigan has been arrested. He's currently in the Bradley County Jail. Val St. John for Nuga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7. Chattanooga weather.
Expect fair skies to continue through your nighttime. Muggy overnight. Could see a little late fog return. Lows up around 70. For Tuesday, not much change. Partly cloudy, mainly dry and hot. Highs up around 90 with scattered afternoon showers and storms returning for the midweek. Tired of the pressures and hassles of car shopping? Come see what more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette or online at jacksongm.com. That's Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm Sworn Gene 12 Chief Meteorologist at your 4.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Dear Mary Maids, please clean the kitchen and the cabinets and floors and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time. Mary Maids.
Call 423-954-7443.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on.
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Jim Taylor. The flag flap. White House flying the American flag at full staff earlier today. Veterans seeing it as a diss to Senator John McCain. And after an American Legion outburst, the flag came back down to half staff. On the floor of the U.S. Senate today, Georgia Senator Johnny Isakson taking the president to task for holding a grudge against John McCain.
Anybody who in any way tarnishes the reputation of John McCain deserves a whipping. Because most of the ones who would do the wrong thing about John McCain didn't have the guts to do the right thing when it was their turn.
This is a week of memorial observation, remembering Senator John McCain.
The official schedule was announced by John McCain's longtime advisor, Rick Davis. It will begin on Wednesday. McCain's body will lie in state at the Arizona Capitol.
It will be on John's 82nd birthday. Only John McCain could rig a big birthday celebration like this.
On Thursday, a memorial service will take place here. Then the body will be flown to Washington, where on Friday it will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda. Then there will be a final memorial service featuring Barack Obama and George W. Bush. John McCain will be laid to rest on Sunday. Steve Futterman, CBS News, Phoenix.
Surprise announcement from President Trump today. A new trade deal, he says, to replace NAFTA.
It's something that I think will be talked about for many years to come. Just good for both countries. As far as Canada is concerned, we haven't started with Canada yet. We wanted to do Mexico.
But Washington Post senior congressional correspondent Paul Kane says not so fast. Trade deals like this need congressional approval.
We're in election season up here, and they're just trying to get through some of the most basic things for the next couple of months. And then who knows who's going to control the majority next year. There are a whole host of issues, unknowns that would have to be answered before we get to a congressional approval.
He barely spoke to fellow gamers. That suspect in the deadly shooting at a Florida video game tournament.
The suspect clearly targeted other gamers. The suspect of walked past patrons who were in other parts of the business and focused his attention on the gamers.
Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams says the suspect was armed with 2 guns, only used one of them, killing 2, wounding 10 before fatally shooting himself. Owner of the Texas-based company that's been trying to post plans for making untraceable 3D guns online got a setback today. Federal judge blocking the Trump administration from allowing it to do just that. But Cody Wilson, director of Defense Distributed, says,
this is a nation of laws, and you have to have a law to actually stop me from publishing. They don't have one.
The Dow today gains 259 points, record high. This is CBS News.
You have enough things to worry about every day. Insurance shouldn't be one of them. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. Well, what about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Drop the sunscreen and step away from the grill. Dell's Labor Day sale is here with massive deals. Score huge deals on some of the newest computers with Intel Core processors, or step up your tech with the latest gaming systems, plus a wide selection of thousands of top brand electronics and accessories, all with free shipping on everything. Just call 800-BUY-DELL or visit Dell.com/Labor Day. Don't miss this summer savings finale. Call 800-BUY-DELL for huge Labor Day deals.
That story about the hair extensions that got a little girl kicked out of school in New Orleans. WWL's Dave Cohen has the latest chapter.
The negotiations come after the Catholic school told a little girl she couldn't have braided hair extensions.
My sister was deeply hurt by the intolerant actions taken by Christ the King School.
The family filed a lawsuit claiming racial discrimination. Archdiocese officials then agreed to a meeting with the family's attorney, James Williams.
We're glad that they are willing to sit down with us, and we look forward to sitting down with them.
The Archdiocese also says it's convened a panel to address school policies, particularly those that might affect cultural differences. Dave Cohen for CBS News, New Orleans.
New studies find most people will not benefit from taking a daily low-dose aspirin to prevent a first heart attack or stroke. Aspirin is recommended for lowering the risk of a second heart attack or stroke or heart problem in people who have already suffered one. This new research does not change that advice. I'm Jim Taylor, CBS News.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A car and a Whitfield County school bus collided head-on Monday afternoon, according to school officials. All of the kids on the bus are okay. It happened near the intersection of Cavender Road Southeast and Antioch Road in Dalton. The driver of the other vehicle was injured. The Georgia State Patrol is investigating. A new grave marker will be unveiled this Thursday for a fallen Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy. It was June 2nd of 1961. 24-year-old Deputy Charles Garfield was on patrol on his motorcycle when he was struck and killed by a drunk driver in Hickson. His grave marker had been damaged and the badge missing. The public is invited to attend the ceremony Thursday at White Oak Cemetery. And the Catoosa County Sheriff's Office searching for several people wanted in connection to multiple car break-ins. The CCSO posted several photos on their Facebook page. If you can identify anyone, contact the Catoosa County Sheriff's Office. Val St. John for Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News Now.
Nooga Radio 92.7. Chattanooga weather.
Expect fair skies to continue through your nighttime. Muggy overnight. Could see a little late fog return. Lows of around 70. For Tuesday, not much change. Partly cloudy, mainly dry and hot. Highs of around 90 with scattered afternoon showers and storms returning for the midweek. Tired of the pressures and hassles of car shopping? Don't see what more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette or online at jacksongm.com. That's Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm Soren Sheen 12 Chief Meteorologist at your 4.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
We just started a family and we're already planning for the future. Michael Levy has helped pave the way to keep our financial future on track. He's local, he knows us, and cares about what's important to us. Don't put your future on hold. Call Michael Levy, 779-7755.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, Rick is buying and selling a woman's best friend. Diamonds. Stop in now and check out the wide selection from Chattanooga's premier jeweler, Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga. Before you buy, let Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds create that special gift for you. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds at Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello? Who am I speaking with? Eric. You're our winner. Really?
You'll receive tickets for all 3 races between the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup races.
Holy cow.
In addition, you'll receive a 2-night stay at the Microtel Hotel and restaurant accommodations at 2 area restaurants.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Nuga Radio.
92.7.
Your NASCAR racing station. Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Well, normally at this time you'd be listening to The Clutch with Keon Rose, but I'm not Keon Rose. I'm not that handsome. And I'm filling in for Keon. He was supposed to fill in for me tonight, so hopefully it didn't get too confusing there. But it's The Clutch in overdrive with the Locker Room Show here on Nuga Radio 927 FM. Good evening to you. Sam Jordan with you. Keon will be filling in for me the rest of the week, supposedly, except for Thursday night and Friday night. And we've been talking about choices and a lot of choices that were made beginning in November of this past year when Tennessee was looking at finding a new head football coach to replace Butch Jones, who basically, as he was walking off the field from the Missouri game, the season-ending game for him, because there was Vanderbilt and there was one other game. I forget. It's a season ago, so we're looking past this. But anyway, Tennessee had John Currie, the athletic director, had pretty much got everything into place for Greg Schiano, who's the defensive coordinator at Ohio State, to become the next head coach. And the athletic director, which at that time was John Currie, then President Chancellor Beverly Davenport, and the state treasurer that I guess has to approve the contracts and stuff, were part of the signatures that were needed for any hiring, such as at that level. Well, November 26th, Greg Schiano was pretty much getting ready to make his appearance as the new head football coach. And all of a sudden, it kind of leaked out. And a lot of people gathered outside Neyland Stadium. And then they marched on the Anderson Training Center to express their outrage if the reports were to become true about Tennessee finalizing a deal to hire Schiano as the next UT head coach. Verbal deal was in place, and like I said, a memorandum of understanding was partially completed. They had to have 4 signatures: Schiano, Currie, Davenport, and the state treasurer, to be the 4 signatories on this deal. Well, they had 2, and Davenport was getting ready to, and then they had to nail down the treasurer. But it was before Davenport actually took the contract and had been reviewing it when this backlash all came out. And with that, the civil unrest in Knoxville basically took over in a non-political sense, I guess you could say. It was just more of a sports backlash. And Schiano, I mean, I've been around Schiano I mean, he is a decent coach. I will give him that. He's a defensive guru. But the one thing that took Schiano down was he was a coach that worked alongside Jerry Sandusky, who was the defensive coordinator at Penn State. And you all know about what happened with Jerry Sandusky in Penn State. If you don't, he got convicted of child sexual abuse. 60 years he's spending in jail. He's already got about 4, maybe 5 of those years in. He still has appeals available. That's the scary part. But the one thing that, that was kind of a saving grace, and you may or may not agree with this. And I've said this before. I've been in Jerry and Dottie Sandusky's home before, been in Joe and Sue Paterno's company before. Very fine people on the outside. What they do on the inside, well, it is to be determined. But Dottie had not worked a day in her life that I'm aware of. Jerry made the money. Jerry had the Second Mile program that he started back in the 70s to help kids. And it actually helped a couple of my sons that were involved in it. So I'm not going to say any bad thing about the Second Mile program, because overall the program, even after Jerry had to take his name away from the Second Mile program, and they did rename the program to another name because of the association with Jerry Sandusky. But, when Sandusky got convicted, he lost his pension because he had well over 30 years at Penn State and built up a nice pension. And basically Dottie was left holding the bag with nothing in it. And they were able to appeal that. And, she's going to be able to continue to maintain her home and the lifestyle, and she's a very simple lady, very simple. But that was the only saving grace there. And, even though she only got to get part of that back, and that's understandable, for what he did, even on the campus at Penn State, was atrocious. Should never been. And in my opinion, they should have shot him on the spot. But that's why we have civil process and, can figure things out. But the reason why, getting back to the original point trying to be made, Greg Schiano had the opportunity of becoming Tennessee's next football coach. Well, when they had media day here recently, getting ready for the upcoming season opener this weekend, Schiano got asked questions about, what happened, what transpired, because Schiano's never really came out and said anything about how this all came about with his hiring at Tennessee and how he never ended up getting the job because of the public outcry and the outbursts that the fans and students and administration at Knoxville came out against this. But it was all because of 6 years of his employment record. And that was from 1990 to 1995 at Penn State. But, this all came shaking down. There had been rumblings through the years about Sandusky, and former Penn State quarterback and later an assistant coach, Mike McQuarrie, testified that fellow assistant and the gentleman that replaced Joe Paterno as the head coach at Penn State, Tom Bradley, told McQuarrie that Schiano was aware of a child sexual abuse incident by Sandusky, who was Penn State's defensive coordinator. Now, Schiano and Bradley denied having knowledge of witnessing any of Sandusky's abuse. But when that came out that he had that employment record at Penn State during that time, that was when the chaotic circumstances took place. in the bizarre days that took place around Thanksgiving. Now, John Currie, who was the athletic director at that time, claimed that the Vols had, quote, carefully interviewed Schiano, but ended up leading to Currie himself also being ousted as the athletic director. And then former Vols coach Philip Fulmer steps in as the AD on December 1st. And then within a week, not even a full week, was able to bring Jeremy Pruitt on board as the head coach, coming from Alabama. Very reputable program. And there's been a lot of associations between Tennessee and Alabama through the years. But Schiano, still at Ohio State. He got passed over for the interim head coaching job because of Urban Meyer being suspended at that time, just on paid administrative leave. Now he's suspended for the first 3 games of the year. And the offensive coordinator, I believe it's the offensive coordinator, is the interim head coach. Never had a head coaching job in his life. Meanwhile, there's Greg Schiano, who's the defensive coordinator and who has got head coaching experience, nonetheless at Rutgers. But he's also been a top candidate around the country. Got passed over for the interim job. And then, Schiano's got a lot of PR to try to fix things. And I don't know if you could ever fix things like that. Even if you weren't the person that committed the abuse, the guilty by association. That's why I'm saying earlier in the first hour there, talking about choices, the choices we make, the associations that we keep are going to be long lasting, if not lifetime. If someone out there is a teenager, shoplifted, even at a candy bar, all right, you might be able to get off on it. And by the time, if you did as a juvenile, it might be sealed, so it won't affect you in your adult life. But I mean, if you commit a robbery or stabbing or shooting or whatever, you're going to have that follow you, because most of the time anymore, you're going to be charged as an adult. That's why I'm saying choices is huge in what we do in life. Greg Schiano is probably never, ever going to get a head coaching job, at least on the NCAA FCS level or FBS level, football bowl subdivision, which is the level that UT, Alabama, Georgia is on, Notre Dame, Penn State, any of those. FCS level, the football championship series, schools like Chattanooga, Furman, UNCG, Troy. There's a possibility that he could at that level. But at best, he probably could only get a coordinator or an assistant's job. And that's about it. Choices and association. Those are the 2 words of the night. All right. Kelly Bryant's been named as starting quarterback at Clemson. He'll start Saturday in their home opener against Furman, holding off a push from true freshman Trevor Lawrence, at least for now. Coach Dabo Swinney maintained throughout the spring and offseason that Bryant remained as the choice ahead of Lawrence on early enrollee and top-rated quarterback in the ESPN 300 class of 2018. It's expected, though, that Bryant and Lawrence will play against Furman. Bryant started every game last season for the Tigers, leading him to the college football playoff. But once Clemson signed Lawrence in February, speculation began on whether or not the freshman could unseat the veteran this offseason. Everybody will get their chance. Nick Fitzgerald, the quarterback of Mississippi State, suspended for team rules violation. He'll be out of the lineup against Stephen F. Austin on Saturday, according to Coach Joe Moorhead. who announced that earlier today. The rules violation occurred in March. Keteon Thompson will start in his place. Thompson appeared in 10 games as a true freshman last season, starting the Tax Slayer Bowl against Louisville for an injured Fitzgerald. The win over the Cardinals, Thompson rushed for a season-high 3 touchdowns. Fitzgerald's one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the SEC, coming back from a broken ankle he suffered in the regular season finale against Ole Miss. He's a senior out of Richmond Hill, Georgia. And he threw for 1,782 yards, 15 touchdowns last season, and rushed for 984 yards and 14 touchdowns. Moorhead also announced Monday that defensive tackle Corey Thomas, who started 2 games last season, will be suspended for the season opener as well. After hosting Stephen F. Austin this Saturday, Mississippi State will travel to Kansas State on September the 8th. Joe Moorhead. I am so glad to see this gentleman get a head coaching gig in the NCAA Big Boy division. Now, I've known Joe for the last couple years at Penn State. Yes, he came from Penn State as a coordinator there on the defense, ironically. And he is probably one of the most super nice guys that you could ever come across. And he is a player's coach. He's not doing it for political reasons or anything like that. He is a true player's coach. And I am so happy to see Joe Moorhead be able to get that job at Mississippi State. He will do them very well. And then people will be saying, Dan Mullen, who? Mullen, who went from Mississippi State to Florida. Understandable, I guess, going for the big dollars, but I think Moorhead is going to have a good time. Then you got the folks over at Auburn, Jarrett Stidham. They're getting a top 10 test against Washington. And it will be fun to see college football getting back underway. Central Florida will be at UConn on Thursday night for college football. Then Friday, San Diego State at number 13, Stanford. Saturday, Florida Atlantic at number 7, Oklahoma. Furman at number 2, Clemson. Washington, number 6 in the country versus number 9, Auburn. And then you got UCLA hosting Cincinnati. Louisville and Alabama. Tennessee at West Virginia over in Charlotte. That game will be on News Channel 12 or News 12 now. That'll be a 3:30 start. Will Greer will be getting a pretty good test of the defensive mindedness and skills of Jeremy Pruitt with the Tennessee Vols. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. If you'd like to participate, I see several comments here on Facebook. You can go to our Facebook page, Nooga Radio 92.7 FM, where we're live. We'll take your questions or comments. We're also over here on this camera here called YouTube, and you can also watch us and view us. Listen to us on NoogaRadio.com and the Nooga Radio app. We're also on Next Radio. Just type in the word Nooga. It'll bring you right up to us. And then, of course, on TuneIn with TuneIn mobile app. So there's a lot of ways that you can listen to Nooga Radio all throughout the day, night, weekends, whatever. Whether it's news, talk, or sports, you can find it right here. One location with several avenues of listening or viewing. Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. Don't forget, Thursday, we will be at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. Get your high school football weekend started in a high-spirited way. High gear with the Gridiron Gang Show live from 7 to 9 p.m. at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. Join me, Sam Jordan, along with Keon Rose, Nick LaFew, and others. We'll have coaches, maybe some players, other media colleagues as well, joining us for the 2-hour show. Then join me on Friday nights with the Countdown to Kickoff presented by 101 Personal Training beginning at 7 p.m. Then later on at 7:30, Keon Rose, Nick LaFew bring you all the excitement of high school football game of the week at 7:30. It's Friday nights, Red Bank visiting Signal Mountain. And after the game, you can get up to date with all the scores and highlights from across the region with the fifth quarter show right here on Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM. I talked a little bit briefly about some of the games. I mean, East Hamilton, East Ridge will be a interesting contest to check out. Utawan, Bradley Central, the Owls doing okay so far. Red Bank and Signal Mountain, of course, our featured game of the week. Silverdale Baptist looking to go 3-0, but can they do it against Chattanooga Christian? That'll be the question. Tyner Academy, they could pose a little bit of a problem for Polk County, who's had two fairly decent victories, easy victories at that. Walker Valley traveling to Ray County. That'll be a tough one and a long trip back for them. Let's see here. Dalton at Northwest Whitfield. If I can talk, Dalton is having a whale of a season so far. Just wondering how things are going to fare for Courtney Braswell and the players over at Ridgeland. They're trying to get their first victory of the year. Maybe they can do it here this Friday night as well. We've got more of the Clutch for Keon Rose, but I'm Sam Jordan sitting in for Keon. We got more coming your way after the break, so stick around. You're listening to Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
The first U.S. Senate debate between Democratic former Governor Phil Bredesen and Republican U.S. Representative Marsha Blackburn set for September 25th. The debate will be at Cumberland University in Lebanon. Bredesen and Blackburn are seeking to succeed Republican Senator Bob Corker, who is retiring. The TVA has announced a new study to help it decide the future of coal-fired plants in Tennessee and Kentucky. Chattanooga Times Free Press reports TVA President Bill Johnson announced the utility is projecting a decline in demand for electricity and is beginning a 6-month study to assess its entire generating fleet, including Paradise Unit 3 in western Kentucky and the Bull Run Steam Plant in East Tennessee. And an arrest after 150 grams of heroin seized at a Cleveland home August 14th has been made. 37-year-old Calvin Evans of Detroit, Michigan has been arrested. He's currently in the Bradley County Jail. Val St. John for Nuga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Chattanooga weather.
Expect fair skies to continue through your nighttime. Muggy overnight. Could see a little late fog return. Lows of around 70. For Tuesday, not much change. Partly cloudy, mainly dry and hot. Highs of around 90 with scattered afternoon showers and storms returning for the midweek. Tired of the pressures and hassles of car shopping? Don't see why more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette or online at jacksongm.com. That's Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm Sworn Gene 12 Chief Meteorologist at your 4.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
I got my business up and running and it's already expanding. I got lucky. Lucky because I found Signal Voice and Data. Signal Voice and Data can incorporate all of my business information sharing and communications seamlessly, keep my costs down, and let me work more productively with endless connectivity no matter where I might be. That's called working smart, not hard. Go to signalvoicetn.com and bring the future of communication to your business today. signalvoicetn.com.
Hey, dude, check this out. Have you ever seen one so big?
Whoa, look at the size of that.
Look at this little itty-bitty one.
Wow, that's really small.
They have them big, small, and everything in between. You'll always find the biggest variety of knives at the knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. We're talking about over 40 brands of knives, including Ben Benchmade, WR Case & Sons, Booker, and all the Frost Cutlery brands. Now, Sam, you've been to the cutlery shop. Is it amazing?
Spectacular. The knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. They have knives, swords, kitchen knives, ammo, and reloading supplies, plus survival gear.
It's the knife shop at Frost Cutlery, open 7 days a week.
Hey, girls, you're going to love this. We're going to the knife shop.
Hey, let's not tell them they have ammo and loading supplies. The knife shop at Frost Cutlery opens 7 days a week. You'll always find the biggest variety of knives. You're going to love the knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. The knife shop.
And tell them David Toulis sent you.
Join Nuga Radio and the Gridiron Gang live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. We're talking all things high school football. There's a specialty brew or refresher weekly inspired by the game of the week. Sweet treats, extended hours all season long, and we're pet friendly. Portions of all proceeds support local schools and educational scholarships as well as after-school programs. It's football time in Tennessee. Join us every Thursday live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks, 10 North, your North Shore neighborhood living room.
You want more business. You want to increase your bottom line. You want to spend less on advertising, imaging your business, and general expenses. You need Trade Bank. When you join Trade Bank, you'll get the benefit of free advertising in our monthly magazine, TradeBank.com, emails, and mailouts. Join Trade Bank now and receive your Trade Bank debit card with trade credits to spend any way you want. Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Call now for a free consultation. 877-2202. That's 877-2202. Trade Bank of Chattanooga.
The kids are back in school, routine is returned, and we've shifted our thoughts to the fast approaching holiday season. Are you hosting? Want to spruce up before your guests arrive? Whether you want new color and exciting wallpaper or elegant window treatments, the designers at Chattanooga Paint and Decorating can help. With brands like York, Tebow, Graber, and Carroll, we know you'll find something you love. Stop by Chattanooga Paint and Decorating today. It's really more than just a paint store. On Hicks and Pike, across from Valvoline, or online at ChattanoogaPaint.com.
Nuga Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nuga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7
Nuga Radio.
Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Hey, how are you? It's the Clutch with Keon Rose. I'm your special guest host tonight, Sam Jordan, who's supposed to be on vacation. That's right. I'm not used to being on vacation. It's kind of weird. I feel like I'm being lazy or, kind of off in the distance to myself, and I feel like I'm cheating the boss out. He probably thinks that too anyway, but it is what it is. So hope your day has been a good one. Don't forget, join Nuga Radio 92.7 FM on Friday, September 14th for the Trail of Tears Memorial Pre-Ride Rally at our good friends Crockett Power Sports and Indian Motorcycles of Chattanooga. Nuga Radio 92.7 FM will be broadcasting live beginning at 4 p.m. on a Friday. Yes, Football Friday at that, till 7 p.m. with various vendors, food, music, and a chance to gather and fellowship with your tribes. Silver anniversary of this great event where bikers from across the nation gather with the Trail of Tears Memorial Association, where members and Hold Us Ride and Remember event. Join us beginning at 4 p.m. for the pre-ride rally live from Crockett Power Sports and Indian Motorcycles of Chattanooga with Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. It will be a fun time. I'm telling you, it will be. So, also before then, and in fact, this Saturday, that just reminded me of something. Join Nuga Radio 92.7 FM each and every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for our newest show, We've Got You Covered Radio, hosted by Scott Schrader and his legions of experts who can help you on your home, the repairs that your home may need, and with other ideas that you don't always think about. Tune in beginning September 1st for We've Got You Covered Radio, only on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, presented by Chattanooga Roofing Contractors. If you're looking to get a new roof or you need a remodeling project done the right way, give Chattanooga Roofing Contractors a call. All right. If you'd like to participate in the show, you can call us at 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949. Also, you can participate on Facebook with Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. Be glad to take your questions or comments there, as long as they're applicable to the show. Just saying. We do get a few crackpots that will chime in, even when the boss goes to chime in. Sometimes we just ignore him for obvious reasons. Well, earlier in the month of August, because we're almost at the end of August. In fact, this Friday will be the last day of August. It's hard to believe how quickly we just gone in a split second, through each month. I've said this many, many times. When you're a kid, you can't wait for school to get out. It's like slower than molasses. But when you become an adult and you're out there working, how time flies by. Well, August 10th, UTC Vice Chancellor and Director of Athletics, Mark Wharton, announced the promotion of Kyle Rochelle as the next head coach of the wrestling program. The UTC Athletics Department would like to have that announced as much as possible. Kyle and his wife, Allie, will be meeting the new wrestling coach at Puckett's Grocery and Restaurant in downtown Chattanooga tomorrow night. Located at 1041 Aquarium Way, home to the weekly Chat with the Mocs radio show hosted by my good colleague, Jim Reynolds. And you can meet the newest head coach beginning at 5:30. And then afterwards, you can join in with us with the Locker Room Show with Keon Rose filling in for me. Now, if you'd like to get in your season ticket request for the Mocs Wrestling, you can do so. They're being accepted now. This will go towards the ticket to all home duels and the Southern Scuffle by clicking on the tickets tab at GoMocs.com. So make sure you check that out. Also, football, basketball, wrestling, all the various sports for the 2018-19 season. Season tickets are available. Go to GoMocs.com for all that info. All right. Tennessee's 2019-20 proposed fishing proclamations, along with the announcement of the permit winners that will be participating in the 2018 elk hunt, were announced at the August meeting of the Tennessee Fish and Wildlife Commission. It concluded on Friday at the Region 2 Ray Bell building. Fisheries Division Chief Frank Fisk presented this year's proposals. Complete list of the proposals will be available soon on the website. Comment period to the public will be open through September 14th. But I think the big thing was who was going to get those permits for the various opportunities. The agency is also proposing to adopt the creel and length limits from the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission on the Tennessee portion of the Calderwood Reservoir. The goal of the proposal is to simplify regulations of this shared resource. And over 8,400 people registered for the opportunity to participate in this year's elk hunt. Tennessee began its elk hunt in 2009 with the participants selected from a computer draw. Elk program leader Brad Miller announced this year's participants selected to participate in the archery-only hunt that will go on September 29th through October 5th. There's actually a couple from our area. Charles A. Hall from Chattanooga, Hunter Monk of Cleveland, and then there was an individual from Coreyton, Harriman, Cookeville, Jamestown, and Oakdale that were able to get one of those prized permits. The gun, muzzleloader, or archery equipment hunt will be held October 13th through the 19th. And let's see here. Gary Bivens out of Tellico Plains and Denise Potter out of Maryville. Not Maryville, Maryville. The seventh permit was presented to a non-governmental organization, the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Foundation. Previous years, the permit was auctioned to the high bidder. This year, a raffle was held with tickets sold for $10 each. Scott Thomas out of Cleveland was the winner. Total of 22,484 tickets were sold. Fundraising proceeds from the auctioned tag are designated for the elk restoration program. So, TFWC approved the agency's budget for next year, 2019-20 season. Agency's fiscal year begins in July of each year. TFWC will hold its next meeting September 20th and 21st in Knoxville. Fishing regulations for next year will be set at that meeting. So a lot of good news coming out of there, out of the recent August meeting that took place. And over at the Ray Bell complex. Outdoor adventure and TV host Van Duzer will be hosting and broadcasting during the Seven Bridges Marathon. It was announced. Ryan Van Duzer. He'll join in the festivities, running side by side with participants, interacting and documenting the journey as well. He's a self-proclaimed world-traveling, adventure-loving goofball from Boulder, Colorado, located at the foothills of the Rockies, and has always loved playing in the dirt, exploring the great outdoors. Passion is getting people excited to explore the planet, and making it a better place. So if you're looking for information on the Seven Bridges Marathon, that's going to take place on October 22nd. It'll be a full and a half marathon, relay, 5K, and family fun run. You can Google it, Seven Bridges Marathon. All right, here. Now, this is not necessarily sports, but when we talk outdoors, you have to talk about this. Chattanooga's got something unique, a lot of things unique. And I had this conversation recently with someone that has lived here all their life. And that could be you or even you. I know. Sounds weird, right? But I'm talking to you. Chattanooga and the Tennessee Valley has got a lot of unique things. A lot of unique things. A lot of outdoors related things, walk along the river, the hunting, the fishing, the swimming, the marathons, the sports teams that are in this area, whether it's high school, college, or professional or semi-professional. There's just a lot of neat things. I mean, until September 5th. Now, I've only been to Chattanooga twice before I moved here September 5th. And that was with several years in between. And, I'm originally from the Little Rock area, like I've said, but I've lived up in the Northeast for the last 30 plus years. I have no regrets. I have a lot of fond memories of the Northeast and, also my time living in Arkansas the first 20 years of my life. And, since moving here to Chattanooga, it's like, man, why didn't I see this before now? And here's one more unique thing about Chattanooga. There was an operating golf course known as the Quarry Golf Course at Reeds Lake Road and Mountain Creek Road in Chattanooga. Its former clubhouse were maintained by the owner for many years for his own purposes. Clubhouse was used and today remains in use as a business office. And the space was enjoyed by many, including apartment dwellers along Mountain Creek Road, as beautiful, accessible open space, especially after hours by hikers and dog walkers. And there was only one area available nearby for that purpose. Over the years, it's attracted people who have built homes in the area. It was sold to a developer, James Pratt, at the end of April, and development plans have been proposed for the property. But there's a post oak tree that's near the Old Quarry Golf Course, considered to be the tallest of its kind in the United States. Post oak tree, considered to be the tallest of its kind in the United States. The area behind the clubhouse is a densely forested knoll. In that area, magnificent post oak, or Quercus stellata, hopefully I didn't butcher that, was identified and nominated for recognition to the state of Tennessee's Forestry Department. Arborists from the Nashville office visited the tree in April, confirmed its dimensions, and recognized the tree as the runner-up to the state champion post oak early in August. Champion trees are scored by adding the circumference in inches at 4.5 feet above the ground to the height, or the feet, adding the average crown spread, feet divided by 4. The current champion post oak in Madison County has a score of 305 points. The Chattanooga post oak, although its score is less at 270 points, is remarkable in that it is much taller than the Madison County, Tennessee champion tree of 112 by 76 feet, almost half again as tall. On reviewing dimensions for the champion trees in most every eastern and southern state, only one other tree was identified to be close to as tall, 100 feet, in South Carolina, making the Chattanooga tree the tallest recorded in the United States among champions. Since this tree is native to the area, it's likely to be the tallest in the world. Some states do not list a post oak tree officially, and some do not provide dimensions or location information. Post oak is a white oak eastern forest tree. In terms of points, the largest are found in Alabama and Georgia. It generally became smaller to the north and the west. It's not a nationally recognized champion post oak. So, interesting. Brian Rucker from the Tennessee Department of Forestry in Nashville says the age of this tree cannot be determined accurately without harming it. So, interesting. One more neat fact about Chattanooga and what we have here. Didn't realize we had such a significant structure of a tree being the tallest in the United States. And it be found right here, Chattanooga. How about it, folks? Don't forget, coming up Thursday night, we have got the Gridiron Gang show from Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore, beginning at 7 o'clock, right after CBS World and National News. Join myself, Sam Jordan, along with Keon Rose, Nick LaFew, and others, as we'll be talking high school football in earnest. A lot of great games on tap for this Friday night. And you can catch one of those great games with Red Bank and Signal Mountain coming up Friday night from Signal Mountain High School. Start your Friday night off right with the 101 Personal Training Countdown to Kickoff show. We'll get you underway right after the news at 7 o'clock and then lead you right up into kickoff at around 7:30. We'll head to the guys around 7:20 to get you updated to all the latest pregame notes and get you up to date with what's on tap for Friday night. In between Jason Kirk and myself, we'll be more than glad to do that. Really want to give Jason a big kudos of a thank you. He came in unannounced, unsolicited, and did an outstanding job helping me with the in-game updates and then, of course, with the fifth quarter show. So I would be definitely remiss if I did not give him a huge thank you for doing that. Jason's one of our sales staff members here at Nuga Radio and is an awesome friend as well. everybody's friends and family here at Nuga Radio. Don't forget to join in for all the latest news with Val St. John this week. This week, myself along with Russell Stroud are supposed to be off this week. Russell's at least enjoying being off this week. And I don't know where Russell's at. And he probably is not going to tell anybody where he's at, which is okay. Russell works hard. He really does. But Val, I know she's doing the news. And, of course, Patrick Core does the weather. I'll be doing the sports again tomorrow. And then Keon will fill in for the rest of the week with the sports updates and filling in for me on my show. Don't forget to join Marie Mott tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Sweet Pea Marie will be bringing you all of the interesting topics of discussion between 11 and noon tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. And if you haven't heard Marie, she's very interesting to listen to and preaches the truth in every sense of the word. So join Marie tomorrow from 11 to noon. And then, of course, 1 to 3, the smartest guy with a bow tie, that is Mr. David Toulis. He'll be with you from 1 to 3. And then Sean Hannity from 3 to 6. And that's all right here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. If you'd like to call in yet, you still have that opportunity. Or comment on Facebook at Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, or call in at 423-800-8949. Dalton State's women's soccer program won their season opener against Columbia College in an aggressive match. 1-0 score at Lakeshore Park Soccer Complex on Sunday afternoon. They go to 1-0. Columbia drops to 0-1. Lady Birds will host Talladega, Alabama Tornadoes at Lakeshore Park at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So if you're down that way, check that out. The Mocs women's soccer team proving to 3-1 on the year after their shootout of 3-0 over Troy Sunday afternoon. Gavin McKinney and crew really doing a great job so far. Chloe Arnold, one of the mainstays of the team, Macy Fox and Lauren Dzuski, getting the goals in that match on Sunday afternoon. Catherine Meyer, Holly Massey getting some assists in that. So great job by the Mocs women's soccer team. All right. The Clutch with Keon Rose wrapping up for this Monday night. Keon should be back in tomorrow. Hopefully he will be for the Locker Room Show as well as his own show, The Clutch, here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a great day and stay blessed. So long.
David Toulis. I made the move 1 o'clock every weekday afternoon, 1 till 3, Nuga Radio.
92.7. 3, 2, 1.
Chatter, Nuga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A car and a Whitfield County school bus collided head-on Monday afternoon. According to school officials, all of the kids on the bus are okay. It happened near the intersection of Cavender Road Southeast and Antioch Road in Dalton. The driver of the other vehicle was injured. The Georgia State Patrol is investigating.